Tonight on CTV News, the eyesores of Christchurch are crawling under the skin of one Christchurch City Councillor. Poppy preparation is now well underway, and get ready to rubble the charity boxing match between rebuild workers.
Broadcasting across Canterbury from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening. We're more than 4 years on from the February earthquake, and while there's been some government and local investment in the CBD, there are still far too many damaged and abandoned buildings remaining. And one local Christchurch City Councillor says they're nothing more than an eyesore, and the government needs to give the insurance companies a hurry up.
Christchurch is a city on its way up, but many of the earthquake-damaged buildings in the CBD still remain empty. When will they come down? It's the million-dollar question a Christchurch City Councillor is asking.
It's been 4 years, so what's the story? You know, let's get these down.
Councillor Livingston is proud of the local property developers who are investing in the CBD. Anthony Goff, Nick Hunt, Philip Carter and Tim Glasson, to name but a few.
It's good to see it, and I think people who come to Christchurch can physically see, you know, in measurable terms, buildings go up, that's great, but there are also a lot of decrepit areas.
When pressed, Glenn struggled to list even one international investor. He says potentially the amount of broken buildings that still remain in the CBD may be putting off other investors.
Once those claims are resolved, people can go ahead and pursue their development. So I've got some big questions over how fast and how much pressure is actually going on these insurers.
In a statement, a Sarah spokesperson says there's significant development happening in the central city, both through the anchor projects and by private developers. Sarah says many of the projects are close to completion, like the first stage of the bus interchange. The spokesperson says there is international backing and involvement in businesses and developments, but not everything has been made public. Many of the owners of the city's empty buildings are still dealing with their insurers. The Insurance Council says insurance companies have completed 86% of all commercial claims resulting from the Canterbury earthquakes. However, just a quick look around the CBD reveals many broken buildings yet to be pulled down. Sarah doesn't hold private insurer or developer information, but says there are 9 sites that are underway or scheduled for demolition this year on 4 anchor project sites: the Convention Centre, Library, East Frame and South Frame. There are still some projects that are in the process of being acquired or are yet to have demolition scheduled. Councillor Livingston says the government needs to step in and take charge on the private insurers.
There are old abandoned buildings sitting there, doesn't look good. So yeah, I think the pressure needs to go on these insurance companies to get the claims processed.
The Mayor was asked the same question today. Is it possible investors could be put off by the broken buildings? And she had this to say.
I kind of look at some of the empty spaces and see opportunity rather than, devastation.
The Mayor wants to work closer with the government to process residential and commercial insurance claims faster.
The more we can work together in a collaborative way with central government, the better that we'll be able to present a united front to the insurance industry if that's part of the problem.
However, Councillor Livingston still believes it should be up to the government to put the pressure on insurers. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Well, you would think the Mayor and her councillors would be the first to have tickets to this one, the implosion of the police building. It'll be quite spectacular, that's for sure. But there are some issues with this. There will be no bird's-eye view from the 6th floor across the road. The entire street needs to be completely evacuated, including the Christchurch City Council.
Down in just a few seconds, the Newstalk ZB building was imploded 3 years ago, and within a matter of months, the old police building owned by Ngāi Tahu could meet the same fate. Ngāi Tahu wasn't commenting on the pending implosion when CTV News spoke to them about their $150 million development yesterday. Ngāi Tahu has instead confirmed that one way or another, the building will be down by July. However, today a Christchurch City Councillor told CTV the implosion company Ceres has been granted consent to bring the building down.
We know from internal emails that it's going to be going ahead through our consents department, so we're fully aware of it.
But even when it comes down, there'll be no one watching from inside the council building across the road.
No, that would be reckless. I don't think we're permitted to be in here. I think it's going to be a weekend day.
Councillor Livingston says he'll be there behind the cordon watching history being made. Just like the Newstalk ZB building before it, this old tired tower is coming down. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Well, next Saturday is Anzac Day and it's marking 100 years since the Gallipoli landings. And this year, the RSA says it hopes to sell more than $2 million worth of poppies to help its veterans. Here's Marcus Gibbs.
A sea of red, poppies popping up in the crowds of Christchurch. It's a tradition that's almost as old as the war itself. Every year, people buy red poppies to wear the week leading up to Anzac Day. Poppies were the first flowers that grew in the battlefields of Flanders and Belgium during World War I, and every year they're worn to symbolise remembrance and hope. This year, they're more popular than ever.
Very, very steady. Very steady, so I'm quite happy with what we've done today.
More than $1.7 million was raised from poppy sales last year. It's one of the country's oldest nationwide appeals. It's been a part of New Zealand's calendars since 1922, and the need for the collection is still there today.
We've got 3 days to collect it, and that gives a lot of people a decent lifestyle.
Christchurch Memorial RSA has the contract to produce the poppies, but there's a shortfall this year due to a glitch in production. Luckily, Victoria's Returned and Services League was happy to sell its stockpile of poppies at cost price to New Zealand. The money helps veterans with medical fees, as well as funding glasses, teeth, wheelchairs and other services.
We've had thousands and thousands of people like myself, Borneo, Malaya, Borneo, Vietnam, over the years, and of those 3,000 veterans, Second World War veterans that are still living, there's probably about another 7,000 widows. They're not counted, but we count them.
This year, the RSA is aiming to sell thousands of poppies in Christchurch.
There you go. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Eddie Bassett has been run off his feet all day.
I do an 8-hour stunt. Me and the wife do 8 hours each, and yeah, it's a long day, but well worth it.
The welfare officer works up to 130 hours a month, helping veterans. He was with the Army from 1963 to 1968, serving in Malaya, Borneo and Vietnam. He says the Gallipoli landings were a key moment in galvanising New Zealand's identity.
There's so many people in New Zealand don't know what freedom is. They've never lost it, they've always had it. Why? Why have they had it? Through soldiers. Simple as that.
Eddie says 100 years later, the Anzacs are still in the hearts of all New Zealanders.
Only got to look at our turnout on Anzac Day. Down at the Papanui RSA, we have 2,000 to 3,000 there for the speeches and all that sort of stuff. The following we get on our parades, it's lovely.
He hopes Cantabrians will support the veterans by donating money in return for a poppy this Anzac Day. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Well, still to come here on CTV News, get ready to rubble. The rebuild workers face off in the ring. Hi, I'm Chris Lynch. Join me every Monday at 8:30 on CTV as we discuss the issues affecting you, your family and everything to do with Canterbury. That's CTV 8:30 right here.
Computer not working? Replace or repair? DIY or get a technician? Looking for parts? Thinking of upgrading? Need accessories? You've got questions, we've got answers. Global PC.
Preparation, the devotion, the fearlessness, the intensity. Runway model management. First impressions are everything.
Made to measure interiors, made with care, made for you.
Join Graham Sinclair and the team at Gone Fishing as they bring you great stories, fishing tips and beautiful scenery. Gone Fishing, Friday night at 8:30, right here on CTV.
And welcome back to CTV News. A gallery that's opened in Littleton is a tribute to Kate Shepherd and the many important women who have made an absolute difference in this region. Here's Jared McCulloch.
It may be a small art gallery, but it has a large part of New Zealand's history inside as part of a new exhibit here in Canterbury. This display is called Through the Glass Ceiling, which opened this week in Littleton, showcasing and recognising 5 painted portraits of female Canterburyans for different achievements they've made. And it also houses this glass statue of Kate Shepherd on display here at the Tin Palace, and the curator says it's great to have this iconic statue in the small township.
We thought, being that Kate Shepherd first arrived to Littleton in 1869, why not get her to Littleton, that we would like to see her on display somewhere.
The 2-metre tall glass model was put together by the Women's Refuge, with pieces of glass layered together, showing messages of domestic violence, which was later printed into the sculpture. Shepherd led the suffrage movement, helping to get women the right to vote in New Zealand, the first self-governing country anywhere in the world to allow females to vote in parliamentary elections back in 1893. However, in September last year, the model was originally gifted to Parliament, but was later rejected by the Speaker of the House and now has fears of ending up in storage. Anne Cunningham says she was surprised by the decision from the Beehive.
Crazy, really. Yeah, I think that there probably should be a permanent sculpture of Kate Shepherd in Parliament anyway, given that we were the first country to give women the vote. And this is quite a special sculpture. Yeah, really surprised.
But now it's here, and alongside one artist's collection, made specifically for this exhibit, saying she was honoured to be a part of the project.
It seemed like a really good opportunity to do a little series of paintings of women from Littleton who are first in their field. It's really about celebrating them in a little town that's been pretty much flattened since the earthquake, so to bring something positive.
Her task was to create a series of portraits showcasing a timeline of successful women in New Zealand, including the first female politician and first Māori female broadcaster. And there's also smaller paintings to match each female hero with a camellia's flower, symbolising women's suffrage. A collection Holden says is vital to have on display for the community.
I think it's really important to kind of celebrate, you know, the history of this place. It's been here a really long time, and these women have made some pretty significant contributions to its growth over time, and not just here. You know, their actions have really kind of helped and supported a lot of people, and it's this is a way of celebrating this community too.
For some of the art, she only had one photo to go off to create the masterpieces, but she says she's happy with the result. The gallery welcomes donations to help go towards the glass Kate Shepherd, with the works up for sale and the event running here for the next 3 weeks. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
Well, get ready to rubble. A charity boxing match is not only putting tradie against tradie, but it's also for a good cause.
From the courts to the crowds, this New Zealand basketball player is here in Christchurch supporting an open-air boxing tournament, all for a good cause. The first Rumble in the Rubble debuted last year, seeing tradies battle it out with proceeds from the event going towards a charity. This year it'll go to For Everyone Charitable Foundation, a group that started back in 2009, put together by 3 All Black legends, Richie McCaw, Ali Williams and Dan Carter. And breaker Alex Pledger is an ambassador for the group and says he's honoured to be a part of it.
I've been with the Breakers for the last couple of years now, and I think they were interested in getting some sports people on board, and they came to me and kind of explained what the organisation does and who they help, and yeah, it sounded like something that's pretty cool to be involved with.
He's been a part of the foundation for just over a year, travelling the country to help hand out grants, showing a real focus on smaller community groups.
Dan Carter and Richie McCaw and Ali Williams, they noticed throughout their travels during their careers that some of those smaller community groups around the country, they don't always have the money for the for the things that they need, and they saw a need for they, being the type of guys that they are, they wanted to create something to be able to help those smaller groups out.
The foundation is all about helping those who need an extra boost to achieve their own projects in the community. And he's here in Canterbury to help two organisations in the area, one being the Families for Life Trust, providing a sail shade for a childcare centre in Wainoni, and the Timaru Parent Centre, who will receive a new heat pump. And he says it's all about making a real difference.
Yeah, seeing, being able to be down here and seeing firsthand the difference that these little things can make, it's pretty special.
And more importantly, he's here to support the tradies in the second rumble in the rubble. And although he's a professional in basketball, what does he think of boxing?
I don't claim to know a lot about it, but yeah, it'll be, I do find it fun to watch, and yeah, I think it'll be an excellent event. Yeah.
And despite the bad weather that's been around this week, the ring is all set and ready to go, with the fight starting tonight in Cathedral Square. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
And good luck to everyone. Well, still to come on CTV News, the Friday sports update and your region's weather.
With all the latest innovations in the world of technology, Shift has everything you need to stay informed and in the know. Shift, 2:15 on Monday, right here on CTV.
Opus is recreating the heart of Canterbury. From large-scale projects to commercial buildings. Your design, your vision. Opus.
In your life. Colour Steel, the roof of New Zealand.
Diversity. No deposit. Instant finance. Convenience. Open 7 days. Austin Motor Company.
Drive It showcases the new arrivals to the motoring world, comparing and testing the latest models to discover which one is the best. Drive It, Sunday afternoons at 2:30, only on CTV.
And welcome back to CTV News. Gordon the Grizzly Bear is here now with your Friday sports update.
The Crusaders face a tough task tonight when they take on the Chiefs at AMI Stadium. After sustaining an injury last weekend, Ryan Crotty is missing from the team sheet, leaving Dan Carter and Kieran Fonatia to deal with the Chiefs midfield pairing of Charlie Ngatai and Sonny Bill Williams. The Crusaders will be hoping the return of White Crockett can pay dividends at scrum time, with Ben Fennell and Nepo Laulala completing the front row. The only other changes from last week's side that lost to the Highlanders are Luke Romano at lock, who moves Jimmy Tupou to the bench, while Richie McCaw will start at 7. Tonight's match kicks off at 7:35. Well, after a bright start to their National Basketball League season, the Canterbury Rams will be looking for a repeat of their opening round match when they face the Manawatu Jets tomorrow night. With 2 wins and a loss to start their campaign, the Rams are looking the part under new head coach and former Tall Black Mark Dickel. After holding a player-coach role at Otago for the past 2 years, Dickel took the Rams job with the opportunity of being able to develop the region's youngest talent, something he couldn't turn down.
We have a lot of good players in New Zealand, and predominantly in our area in the South Island. I think we've got 30 or 40 kids on our island that could go to college if they wanted to. So there's a lot of good talent in New Zealand. It just hasn't really been exposed to that opportunity before. So I think that's as much as anything what excited me about coming to Christchurch, is that we could give those kids that opportunity.
Last season saw the return of the Rams for the first time since 2008, with the side easing their way back into the comp. While the side couldn't make the playoffs, a number of local players showed they're more than equipped for the league. That's something Dickel took into consideration when putting together his roster for this year.
I thought that the roster that they had last year was really good. I thought they had one of the more talented rosters. It's just sometimes how it all meshes together. So the last thing I wanted to do was to mess with the roster too much. I just wanted to try and add to it. I'm really happy with the players we've got here. All of them are going to be better players 4 or 5 years from now. They're all kind of younger with the exception of Marcus, meaning the New Zealand players. So we've got a real future perspective on how we're trying to do it. So I'm excited. I think we've got a lot of really good players.
One of the keys to the Rams' start has been the form of last year's Rookie of the Year, Richie Edwards. The forward has started this year with 3 20-plus point performances and is putting his improved game down to a change in diet.
I was eating too much fast food last year, too much bad stuff, as a college student coming straight out of college, as you do on a budget, you always eating on the go. So I just try to clean it up, take more time on my diet and really eliminate those things that a lot of people don't see as bad, like breads and pastas and potatoes, all the carbs. So just try to take it out of my diet and really just try to lean up, and it's worked for me so far. I'm probably down about 20 kgs, so it's really shown a difference in my health.
The Rams met Saturday night's opposition, the Manawatu Jets, in their opening game of the season, walking away comfortable 114-98 winners. Coach Dickel says there will be no complacency though, with his side's defence the main concern.
We haven't held to any team to under 90 points, so we want to be a team that prides itself on defence, where you should be holding teams to 60 or 70 points. So from that perspective, I'm concerned. I'm concerned because I think we're capable of doing that. Now the stuff on offence, I think we have really good players, so I anticipate us scoring 80 or 90 points. It's just going to be whether we can hold the other teams under that.
Another capacity crowd is expected tomorrow at Cal Stadium as the new team look to emulate the fortress created by the Rams of the 80s and 90s.
I can remember coming to watch games here as a kid, and Canterbury never lost. And we haven't lost at home yet, so I hope that continues. But we've got a lot of work to do to get it back to that point. We're just starting out, and it's not always going to be easy, but if we can stay with the course, I'm sure we'll be fine.
That match against Manawatu gets underway at 7 o'clock. And finally tonight, the Hawkins Cup enters its 4th round of competition on Saturday, with a string of teams looking to keep their distance with the early leaders. Sydenham and University, who both have 2 wins and a loss, will face off at Sydenham Park. 8th placed Burnside will look to get themselves back in the top half of the competition when they take on 5th placed Marist Albion at Burnside Park, while undefeated Lincoln University are at home to the winless High School Old Boys. Sumner, who have 1 win and 2 losses, will be targeting a result at home to bottom of the table Belfast, while at Christchurch Park, Christchurch will look to get their 3rd win in a row against Shirley. The match of the round could prove to be the match between Linwood and New Brighton. Linwood, playing at home, will look to get back into the title race after their first loss of the comp last weekend when they host an undefeated New Brighton side. You're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Findlater for CTV Sport.
Thanks, Gordon. Now time for the region's weather.
Good evening, Canterbury. Let's take a look at your weather. Timaru, Temuka and Geraldine, you're all on 18 today. Ashburton and Medford, you're slightly warmer on 19 degrees. Rakaia, 19 for you. Darfield, Leeston and Rolleston, you all shared a high of 19 today. Lincoln and Christchurch, similar picture for you also, 19 degrees. Over in Akaroa today, you are on 20 degrees. Further north, Kaiapoi, Rangiora and Amberley, 19 for you. Calderwood, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, the warmest place to be in Canterbury on 21 degrees. Kaikoura just trumped on 20. Let's take a look at tomorrow's weather now. Timaru, the showers will clear in the morning, but the skies will remain cloudy and temperatures will be cool, with some southwesterly winds dying out during the day. Your overnight low is 10, tomorrow's high 14 degrees. Bluebirds fly and the dreams. To Ashburton now, will be damp at first, but it'll be mostly dry during the day, with cloudy skies and a cool southwesterly breeze. Tonight's low is 10, your high tomorrow 14. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Let's take a look at Christchurch now. Some morning rain at first, but that will clear by mid-morning, leaving you with a dry day, but it will be a bit cloudy by the afternoon. There'll be some cool southwesterly winds. Tonight's low is 10, tomorrow's high 14. To Kaikoura now, your morning showers will clear, but the skies will remain cloudy and the temperatures will be cool, with some southwesterly winds dying out during the day. Your overnight low is 10, tomorrow's high 14 degrees. Taking a look at the other areas around the region now, Temuka and Geraldine, it'll be a cloudy day for you on 15 degrees. Medford, very similar picture, but you'll be slightly cooler on 14. As for Darfield, it'll be a cloudy day for you. Leeston, Rolleston and Lincoln, cloud at first, but then some showers, all sharing 14 degrees. Over in Akaroa tomorrow, there'll be some showers at first, then those will dry up, leaving you just a bit of a cloudy day, 14 degrees. Further north, Kaiapoi, Rangiora and Amberley, similar picture for you. Showers at first, then they'll dry up and turn to cloud, 14. Calderwood, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, expect a few showers in the morning, and then that cloud will settle in later on in the day, 14 degrees. Looking ahead for Canterbury now, it'll be fine and sunny on Sunday with some high cloud developing and moderate northeasterly winds. As for Monday, it'll be fine at first with some high cloud and mild northerlies, but then some fresh cold southwesterly winds will come flying through with some rain developing during the afternoon. Taking a look at Tuesday now, showers will clear, but the skies will remain mostly cloudy with some cold southerly winds, which will due to die out later on. For Wednesday, it'll be mostly cloudy and cool at first with some moderate northeasterly winds, but then that sun will come back during the afternoon. And Thursday, some cloud at first and breezy northeasterly winds. And that is your weather for Friday.
And before we go tonight, visitors fresh off planes arriving at Christchurch's International Airport were welcomed by a sea of red poppies in the shape of the year 1915 to mark 100 years since the Gallipoli landings. And that is CTV News for Friday. Have a great weekend.